Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of Talk Exchange. Today's guests are Paul Swenson and Bridget Hughes from the Colonial Flag Company. In case you haven't heard, Colonial Flag Company is a really wonderful sponsor of Exchange, and today they talk all about the America 250 project, which is happening in 2026. Lots of great information in here. Be sure to check the description in today's episode for a little bit more information, as well as some video links and some email contact information and more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Welcome to Talk Exchange. I'm Tracy Edwards, CEO of the National Exchange Club.
And I'm Christy Lindahl, Director of Communications.
Hi, Christy.
Hey, Tracy.
It's such a big year. I feel like it's always a big year, but this is an exceptionally big year, especially for Exchange Clubs nationwide with the 250th anniversary of the United States of America coming up.
Do you know what they call that?
Yes. Tell us, though.
Sequicentennial.
I was hoping you would pronounce it. You did that perfectly.
Enunciation.
Thank you. I like that. There's a word for it.
Yep.
That is true. And I know exchange clubs around the country are getting excited about it and planning. And we debuted the plan that they can participate in back at the National Convention, which was fun to see people just embrace that and get excited about it.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of us. Our close partnership with, Colonial Flag, who's our guest today. It really gave us an opportunity to get ahead of the sequicentennial and start planning early. We've been working for maybe a year and a half on this.
At least, yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see it all come to fruition.
Definitely. Well, that's a good partnership, and we have our great partners today from Colonial Flag Foundation, Paul Swenson, founder and owner, and Bridget Hughes. Welcome, Bridget and Paul. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, we're so glad to be here. Thanks for letting us join you all today.
Well, we were excited. A fun fact about Paul and his wife, Elizabeth, they are actually the second largest donors to the National Exchange Club Foundation ever. So that's a sign of a great partnership. Yes. And Paul, thanks to you and Elizabeth for your generosity and for really giving back to Exchange via these healing fields that have been going on for so long. And I know we were talking at the beginning, but take us back to how this started.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to what you just said there. I didn't know that, but and it's such a great cause that I have 3 granddaughters right now that my son has, and I look at them and I realize that someone's benefiting out there through the foundation because of a little thing that we do, and I'm just so glad that you guys do what you do to educate your club members nationwide and the community nationwide. I'm glad that we're a small part of that. Thank you. But
thank you.
Yeah. So, well, just as a brief introduction, right after the terrorist attack, September 11th, 2001, we were in chaos, both as a nation, but as a company. We have a flag company called Colonial Flag that sells flags. And we had, we were just overrun with people requesting flags. And that died off after about, probably about 6 months or so. But I knew coming into the first anniversary it was going to be something special. How do you acknowledge that or recognize that? And so coming into that, I'd read a little article in the newspaper about how many insurance claims there had been for people that they thought had died that day. It was 2,987 at that time. It's grown since then. And I thought I have to show this somehow. So we rallied our business and our vendors and our community here, and we had 500 volunteers show up. We did the first time ever a field of flags in front of our Sandy City Hall here in Utah. By police estimates and safety department people, they had close to 250,000 people come through. It was to this date still the largest single draw in Sandy City, and it wasn't announced the day before, just people word of mouth. And so after that, we knew that we weren't going to sell them, but then we had people asking if they could buy the flags. And so we thought, what do? We need to, for the aesthetics and so that it stays meaningful, we chose a charity, which is actually referred to us by JetBlue, which was Orphan and Widows Firemen's Fund in New York City. Actually, we called them up and we said, we're going to sell flags at this event we're having, and we'd like you guys to be the recipient. Do you guys want that money? And said, heck yeah, we'll take that, and we could use it. And so that established the precedent for how we continued. So the next year we had 5 people wanting to know how to do it. The next year we had 33, and now we average about 100 a year. We've done well over 1,500 of these nationwide. But early on, our first really national partner was National Exchange Club. Our first national director, Lori Okeson, was club president here, and she also was excited to share this concept with National Exchange Club. And so we went to a convention, and then another convention. We went down to Dallas, and we put up the first ever child abuse prevention field right in front of Dallas City Hall at the convention down there. And it was very powerful. We had the people that were living on the streets, literally. We were worried about it at the start, but they kept an eye out on the for the flags. Nothing got stolen, nothing got burned. They actually kind of policed it for us, and it was an amazing experience. And so we've grown with an exchange, and now we have done them from coast to coast. I can't begin to list them all, and some of them have done it consecutive years. So we've had exchange clubs in Tempe, and then also in Prescott Valley that have done it every year since the second or third year we've done it. So they're kind of legacy fields, legacy clubs, and that. But it's been a wonderful relationship, and I've seen multiple presidents come and go, and directors such as yourself and staff. But I just appreciate you, Tracy, and you, Christy, for the job you're doing and for the love we felt. I think I can speak for Bridget as well, that when we went back to Louisville this year, I never felt so much love. I felt like
good.
everywhere I turned around, we saw, videos of healing fields and posters of healing fields. I felt like, we need to move out here, live here all the time. Very encouraging. So, but that kind of led us to last year, and actually got a call from you, Tracy, and we set up a meeting with Christy, and we started talking, Bridget and a couple of our graphics people and marketing people, to come up with something for the America 250, which will be kind of culminating next 4th of July. But there'll be things actually after the 4th of July 2026, and a lot of events leading up to it. And the National America 250 Committee has a lot of things planned, but you guys actually were wise and got a head start on that. It forced us to get a head start on it. So as an organization, we've actually benefited from your foresight, okay? Because now I see a lot of people jumping in with programs now, but the development of a complementary plug-in to existing fields of flags that are going on, or stand alone just by doing these events that we can describe in a minute. It all started with that conversation back, I think, last September or October. So we actually it matured a little bit in February, and I think we refined it until we were at the convention in Louisville.
Yeah, it's exciting because what we envision, to your point, exchange clubs nationwide conduct fields of flags with you for a number of reasons, but this is an opportunity really for every club, every community to do a flag, because the way this product package is designed, there's truly something for every club size, right?
Yeah, you wanted it scalable so that any club at any stage in their development, budget-wise, could handle it. So what we decided to do, and this was not instantaneous, but it kind of evolved, was that we have start out with, well, let's do one flag that was the historic flag for that year, for every year of the 250 years. So it starts out with the Grand Union flag, which has the British flag up in the Canton, and then the stars, and then the stripes, and then it went to the Francis Hawkins, and then after that, 17 years of the Betsy Ross flag, and then so there's a total of 26 different iterations of the U.S. flag, depending on how many years went without a new state being added, and so typically a new star or stars are added to the U.S. flag the 4th of July after they come into the country from the previous 4th of July. So that like in 1863, West Virginia came in during the year, so the 35 star flag was introduced just immediately right at the time of the Battle of Gettysburg, actually. So that's how they proceeded. So then
It's an interesting tidbit.
Well, it's so cool because I'm thinking, gosh, I'm learning so much listening to you. And I thought this is also a great complementary educational piece when people come to view these fields, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of what we do as a foundation nationally, and what you do is with your main program, child abuse prevention, is educating
Yes.
adults, educating community, educating caregivers, everything in schools and children. And so each one of these flags in the 250 flag field has little cards on them. In fact, I actually have a stack of them right here. Here's the cards.
All right.
They have on the
Good.
back in that year in history. So 1776
Nice.
on up. So that's one 250 card kit there, and those actually allow the families with their kids, or classrooms. We've seen busloads of kids getting off, and they walk through it, and they kind of snake their way through it, and they actually are able to read a synopsis of U.S. history in about half an hour. Okay.
Wow.
And then we
That's
have
cool.
a smaller one to show you here. This one here is a 26 flag set that we developed with your assistance, which is a smaller, easier to do thing. Instead of 250 flags, which can be expensive, 26 flags, you could have an existing field of flags, whatever size your community chooses, whether it's for 4th of July, Veterans Day, or 9/11 or Memorial Day, then add 26 flags represent all the flags. And each one of these cards are a little bit more abbreviated. It has the years that the flag flew that particular individual flag, and so they have a little bit shorter experience. That one's more suitable for smaller events, complement an existing field, and also it can go in schools outside the school or inside school. We have an indoor version that sits on stands, so the youth can walk through there and actually be inside their school building and read about the America's history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love how this has come together. You've thought of every angle, so that's really interesting.
Well, I think one part of it that was probably my favorite part. I had a friend who spent a great deal of time trying to clean up the Declaration. The original Declaration had been basically nearly destroyed when they tried to make copies of it, and so there were probably about 8 original copies of the Declaration still available, and mainly on vellum or parchment. And so I had him take from the copy, which was the most pristine, and meticulously go through and digitally clean up all the errant ink blots that dripped off, and was able to come up with a really legible version. So we were able to take that, as per your suggestion instructions, to create a large 4 foot wide by 6 foot tall Declaration of Independence that someone could actually come up and read it. Most of the time, you could read it in print, like Arial or Corey or whatever font you have, but it's very, very difficult to read the original Declaration in its original font and script, and you can read that, and that alone could go adjacent or in a field or in a school or classroom setting. And Bridget, I wouldn't mind, Bridget. What are some of the clubs we've already sent these off to? What feedback are you hearing?
Oh yeah, I'm excited to hear.
Well, it's really just starting to pick up now. People are, very focused on Veterans Day fields. So it's definitely
Awesome.
catching fire, and I expect that we're going to have some really beautiful fields out there. I think that the established fields, what I'm hearing and the feedback I've gotten so far, is that they love the idea of that 26 flag set to sort of augment it, be the centerpiece. The 26 flags with the Declaration and the two 250 logo vertical banners. They love the idea of that setting off their field. And my impression is that some fundraising is taking place for those purchases. So I expect that this is going to be taking off, and I expect to be hearing from a lot more clubs over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, definitely.
Most definitely. And I know a field is planned for Omaha, where we will have our national convention in July of 2026, right after July 4th. I believe we're there the next week.
Correct.
And so that field will still be in place for members visiting the convention to see, and that'll be a super cool experience.
Yeah, we spoke to Trent Hunter.
Oh, good. Yes.
Right. So
yes.
I got the impression that he was going to be sort of part of that organizing committee, or so he's, Trent has got some big plans. He will.
Good.
Yeah. So
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
We have friends in exchange all over the place.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Definitely.
So he was definitely someone who, has some big visions for that field, for multiple events. Omaha being one of them.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
That's really good to hear. Yeah, we'd like to have them all across the country for sure.
Great publicity opportunities for clubs.
Definitely. So it sounds like you're also an American history buff, Paul. I was thinking about this and I thought, we know you as a vendor and a partner and as a friend, but you really have this in your heart and a deep love for American history and the flag history, apparently.
The reason I'm chuckling is because you can't do what I do every single day with the military, the public, with historic venues and everything, without picking some of it up. Am I a historian? No, I listen really well from all the smart people that are around me, and we've had vexillologists. We've had there were people that research flags for a living. Quite honestly, and I hope I don't offend any vexillologists, but if you're having a hard time sleeping, you need to go to a vexillological convention. Okay, but, the level of detail I get to, but I love this country, and I love the symbolism, and I love that we're honoring the history of this country, not just the 330 million people living in it right now, but all the tens of millions and hundreds of millions of people that have made this what it is today, through good times and bad times, and through challenging times, and through everything we've been through as a country. Very depressing times, but the flag, which we honor with these fields, whether it's for America 250 or just a healing field, that flag is symbolic of what we hold true and near and dear, and like I've said, is that its main focus is always, as opposed to a lot of countries, some flags have green because they're agriculture, and some have blue because of their water or whatever, and yellow is a popular color. But our flag is red, white, and blue, and the Canton represents the unity of the states. It keeps growing, 13 stars. Now it's up to 50 stars. Okay, and the stripes stay the same to remind us of where we came from. 13 stripes. But like I've said in the past, I one time calculated the density of stitches in a 30 by 60 foot U.S. flag, and between those stitches and between some math, I figured that there might be around 300 million little individual stitches in that flag. And how I like to think of it is that we as a country are 330 million people strong, and we'll have a tornado in one part of the country, but the fact that we're strong over here, we can pull together, and the fabric of the nation, for all the rest of us holding hands, keeps us together while that part of the flag heals. And then you might have a tornado or an earthquake or some other disturbance, but the rest of the flag holds strong while that area heals. And how do you what do you do to show that patriotism and the love of the country and flag? Well, you try to be a better mom or dad. You try to be a better neighbor or citizen, or you join an exchange club and you get active in your community, or you help somebody open a door, or you go out and offer some help to someone who's struggling. There's a lot of ways to show your love and support of the flag, not just by saluting. And we salute it, but we also know that that's a call to action to do other things.
Well, I love how you put that. A lot of people sell flags, but you love the flag, and it shows. And I think that's why our members feel so good about partnering with you, because it's so genuine and it's so necessary. And I know you and I have talked over the years and said, one of Exchange's programs is Americanism, and we always talk about being able to do more around that, and because of the partnership with you, we've been able to do that. So thank you for that. Bridget, did you want to add something as we wrap up?
I just wanted to really say that the recurring theme that I hear from people all the time who have done these fields is the response from the community, how much these fields end up meaning to their communities, that it's a unifier. I spoke to someone who did the first field, a big field for first effort, and he spoke to how they all live in in an area where there's a lot of different townships, and that there really isn't a convention center or a gathering place, or that when they did this field, they were blown away. It brought all of those little communities together, and he felt like that area will be forever changed, and they cannot wait to do another field. So when I tell you that I hear this, it is a gift to the community. I mean, it's a fundraiser and all of those other things, but just to carry on to what Paul said, it means so much. So I think that if you want to give to your community and have something that's very powerful and that they will be looking forward to every year, this is really a fantastic thing to do for your town or your city.
Most definitely. So speaking of that, I know we have splashed news of this everywhere.
Yes.
But how does somebody listening to this episode reach you to ask questions and decide that they want to proceed with doing a field?
Well, we definitely have all of the different iterations on our website, healingfield.org. All of the items, the kits, the a la carte features, they're all there with the pricing. And my name and my email address, Bridget, BRIDGET @healingfield.org. And my telephone number is there. Please give me a call. I'd be thrilled to talk to you about the field, help you develop a bit of a budget based on what you think that your club can handle, maybe a couple of different scenarios, whatever I can do to help, I'd be glad to. So please, don't hesitate to reach out. Let me help you.
Well, fantastic. Thank you both for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing flags all over the country.
Yes.
And partnering with you to make this just such a grand celebration as we lead up to July 4th, 2026. Thanks for your partnership, Paul, for your generous donations as part of what we do, and just for your love of the flag and continuing to carry the torch for this since you started. And to our Exchange Club members listening, please do reach out to Healing Field for information on how you can conduct a field of flags, which is what we want every club to be doing in communities across the country. Right, Christy?
I'm not going to let you end yet.
Okay.
I have a shameless plug.
Oh, go right ahead. Yes, you do. Please.
We have co-branded America 250 and Exchange hats and t-shirts available.
Oh, people
online.
will need those as they put these flags together.
Yeah, they're really affordable options.
Mhm.
We figured a lot of people would want these items, so we
Yes.
made them very affordable.
Good.
Yeah. And that's buyexchange.org.
I love that. Absolutely. We need to have the whole package.
Yeah, 3X. That's what I always have.
We do.
We do.
We'll send you one. Absolutely. We certainly do, because that will just put the package together and tie it with a nice little bow, and members wear those shirts and hats, right?
What says Exchange loves America more than an America 250 shirt?
You've got it. And that's a great way to end, because Exchange certainly does love this country and represent it all over. Well, thanks to our guests today from Healing Field Colonial Flag Foundation, Paul Swenson and Bridget Hughes. This has been a great experience. I can't wait for people to listen. And as you're listening, there are a couple of videos attached to this episode. So click on those for more information. And if you'd like to learn more about Exchange, please visit nationalexchangeclub.org. And thanks for tuning into this episode of Talk Exchange.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Love you.
Ping.
Wow, that was awesome.
Thank you both.
Rockstar episode. I loved it.
Yeah, that was a great one.